Hi everyone, and welcome to this masterclass on optimizing engagement and audience from social networks. I'm excited to share with you today concrete strategies to significantly increase your performance on your social media, and specifically on engagement and audience. Before we dive into the heart of the matter, allow me to briefly introduce myself. I started my career in 2008 as a developer and a lead technician at Wonderbox. My journey then led me to work as a consultant, notably for the music business group, before becoming CTO and shareholder of Dibonix. In 2014, I founded Moati, where I served as external CTO for Warner Brothers. In 2016, the first version of Nonly was aimed at monetizing traffic coming from social networks. However, this version didn't succeed. It was a big fail, and we had to pivot. We then invested several years in R&D to build the new version of Nonly before finally launching commercialization in 2021. I have to note that we had two early adopters, Le Parisien and La Provence, since 2016. Today, Nonly has evolved into a powerful tool that allows media companies to analyze social networks in real time and publish content across various social media platforms. This transformation has positioned us as a leader in helping media optimize their social media presence, engagement, and traffic. Today, I'm proud to say that Nonly has become the leader in the French market for social media publishing solutions for media companies. Our client list includes famous names such as BFM TV, RMC, Nice Matin, Le Parisien, La Provence, France Inter, Ouest France, 20 minutes, France 24, Le Figaro, et il y en a encore beaucoup d'autres, and so many others. This diversity of clients demonstrates that effectiveness and adaptability of our solution for different types of media. Here is an overview of what we'll cover today. We'll dive into the 7 key strategies for increasing engagement and traffic. We'll also discuss some crucial technical optimizations and present a concrete case study. We'll wrap up with a recap and next steps, followed by a Q&A session. Feel free to note down your question as we go along. We'll have dedicated time at the end to address them. Current challenges for media on social networks. The social media ecosystem is constantly evolving with new platforms emerging regularly. I can mention at least Threads or WhatsApp's channel that appeared last month. This forces media companies to maintain a presence across an increasing number of channels, each with its own unique features and audience expectations. Decrease in organic visibility. Social media algorithms are becoming increasingly complex, making it harder for content to reach audiences organically. This decline in organic reach means that simply posting content is no longer enough to ensure it will be seen. Need for channel diversification as a result of decreased organic visibility. Media companies must diversify their channels to maintain and grow their audience. This includes exploring newer platforms and alternative content distribution methods. End of free tools. We all know the discontinuation of free tools like CrowdTangle in August 2024 presents a significant challenge. Media companies will need to find new solutions for social media monitoring and analytics, potentially increasing costs and complexity in their operations. Increased competition for user attentions. With the sheer volume of content being produced and shared across social media, capturing and retaining user attention has become increasingly difficult. Media companies are not just competing with other news outlets, but with all forms of content vying for users' limited attention. Facing these challenges, we've identified not 5 keys, but 7 keys. It's a mistake from me. To significantly increase your engagement on social networks. Let's examine each of these in detail. Yes, I have listed just 5 of them. Okay. Don't worry, we'll speak about the 7. Okay, the first key is optimizing your publication frequency and timing. Avoid posting too closely together. For example, at 1-minute intervals and then at 30-minute intervals, as algos don't like this. Today, I usually see some media that post videos with other solutions, and there are some conflicts with their posts they have just scheduled before. You can post up to 100 pieces of content per day if your content lends itself to it. I encourage you to look at the number of page views a paper gets over a given time to see if it's worth publishing. For colder contents, you can look at the number of newsletter subscriptions or subscriptions. If you use several publication solutions at the same time, you need to reserve publication slots to avoid publications clashing, as their reach will drop sharply, and so will the reach of future publications. As far as possible, avoid posting at intervals of less than 15 minutes. And this applies to all social networks, including X, formerly Twitter. Except in the case of a huge breaking news, you can break this rule. So it's very, very important. Second key, diversification of content types. Yes, use all the formats available on the platforms, but when you share your articles, you should favor 80% photo posts versus 20% link posts, because photo posts have an interaction rate 3 to 5 times higher than link posts on Threads, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And on X, so Twitter, it's around 2 to 3 times. You have to publish 80% of photo type. Okay, photo type is just a post with a message and a photo. Link type is the card format. So you have a message and you have the photo, a title, and a description. Link types have decreased the interaction rate by 5x since June 2023. So you have to post 80% of photo type versus link types. Is it clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, do you mean, Moise, that photo without link or text photo?
Yeah. You can post a photo with link.
Okay.
It works very, very well. So you can do that. Photo with link, but I have to add that you have to post photos with text on photo. It's very important because the interaction rate will be increased. So I will show you some examples just after. Okay, the third key is respecting the heat of topics. You need to prioritize hot content and publish it within the first half hour and be among the first 5 media to publish the topic. If you have other content scheduled, you need to push it back so that it doesn't interfere with the breaking news. I advise you to use a specific design for breaking news to get your audience used to reacting to this type of content. Here you can see an example with France Info publishes breaking news with a specific design. And here you can see it's a photo type with a specific design for breaking news and a link in the message. This type of content work very, very well. Okay, the first key is an intelligent reposting strategy. The repost strategy is particularly interesting if you have not enough content. It's not useful for every media, but for media that have a small production, it's very interesting. For example, you can analyze the audience for posts over the last 24 hours and republish the top 5% of those posts. You can increase this percentage if you need more content. It's worth noting that social networks don't penalize reposting, and this can account for a significant proportion of your traffic. You can also use this strategy for the weekend. For example, analyze the audience for posts over the last 6 days and republish the best 10% of them during the weekend. If you have evergreen content, publish it. This content works very well. For example, you can publish content that's about 1 year old, that has been recently updated, and that has been driving traffic to your site over the last 3 days. So you need analytics to do that, but it's very, very interesting. P5, monitoring and adapting to best practices. You need to keep an eye on your competitors to understand what's working for them and what's not. The aim is not to be number one, but to constantly improve and avoid decreasing. You need to look at what formats work and why. For example, a photo with large white text and a white logo works particularly well. You can see here some example with BFM TV and La Dépêche du Midi. These two posts was posted yesterday. One at 3 a.m. and another from BFM TV at 2 p.m. And here we have two photo posts that had worked very, very well with white text and white logo. So La Dépêche, the logo is not only white. My advice it's to use only white logo, but you depend on your strategy and your design. Here you can see two screenshots of interaction and volume of posts. It's Le Parisien on yesterday on Facebook. Yesterday, they posted 68% of photo types and 21% of link. And here you can see the interaction rate, and you can see that photo types have 3.5x more interaction than link type, just there. Here is an example of the top 10 French news media on Facebook last week. As you can see, the number of posts per day varies from simple to double. If you like, I can show you a live ranking for different countries right after the presentation. We'll dive deep into what types of posts generated the most engagement. E6, technical optimizations. Yes, it's an important part. It's important to implement methodology and microdata correctly. Here we see an example of article publication dates, which are particularly important to allow social networks and search engines to know when articles were published and when they were updated. The dates here are in UTC format, so you need to respect the ISO 8601 standard for dates. I also recommend using large images to publish on social networks, as they tend to generate more traffic and engagement. Best practice is to have images at least 1,200 pixels wide or high. The seventh key strategy, creating pages on verticals. This approach is particularly powerful for media that cover a wide range of topics. Let me illustrate this with a concrete example. Consider a football fan who supports Olympique de Marseille. This fan is likely to be highly interested in content about OM, but may have little to no interest in content about other clubs, especially rival clubs like PSG. If your media outlet regularly produces content about OM, it's worth creating dedicated social media accounts for this specific content. We've seen great success with this strategy. For example, Course Matin recently implemented this approach by creating separate accounts for the Bastia and Ajaccio football clubs. The result, significantly higher engagement rates, and on these niche pages compared to their main account. Another example is RMC Sport Combat, a page dedicated to combat sports. This niche page generates high engagement far beyond what you might see on a general sports page. The beauty of this strategy is that it allows you to reach highly engaged communities that might not follow your main, more generalist pages. These thematic pages not only diversify your audience, but also increase the overall engagement of your content. Moreover, there is a long-term benefit to this approach. As users engage with your niche content, they develop a connection with your brand. This often leads them to follow your main accounts, as well as they have learned to trust and appreciate your content in their area of interest. It's important to note that this strategy isn't limited to sports. It can work for any type of niche where you produce regularly content. For example, IT technology, AI, crypto, finance, entertainment, beauty, local news, etc., etc. The key is to capitalize on these niches as soon as you find yourself regularly creating content in them. By doing so, you're not just increasing engagement, but you're also building deeper, more meaningful relationship with specific segments of your audience. Consider allocating a modest budget for advertising. Investing $100 monthly for 6 months should suffice to build your new community. Moreover, you can leverage your main page to promote your niche page, further enhancing its visibility. Okay, some case studies. When BFM Business started with us, they grow their traffic about 400% and increased 290% their engagement in 1 year. La Provence had good results too. Some interest from Prisma Group was very interesting because they have only cold content, and they produce just five articles per day. So we had to repost evergreen content, and by doing that, we increased their traffic and their engagement significantly in just 1 month. And the last but not the least, group Nice Matin. I just took the numbers this morning. So we have an increase of 79% in terms of interactions on the first 6 months of this year versus the first 6 months of last year. I can tell about many other clients that have succeeded with those types of strategies that I have spoken just before. If you want, let's go for the questions.
So thank you very much, Moïse, and let's start the question, Carol.
Yes, I have another question. You said that reposting was useful when you produce little content, but do you know what is the minimum number of publications to exist on a Facebook page?
It's a good question. I think you have to post a minimum of 20 content per day. It's the ideal. But if you don't have the content, don't worry. You can post only 10 content per day. The important thing is to optimize the number of posts you can publish every day. So if your redaction produce I don't know 50 content a day, you can increase that with repost, but it's not mandatory. But if you have only one content produced by day, you have to apply a repost strategy. Thank you very much, everyone. It's a pleasure to talk to you.